Thank you so much. Welcome back. We are looking at the quadratic functions, which are in paper 1. This question normally it is on that is question 22, somewhere there before we do the last question. So you should be aware of this question, and let's hope you are going to enjoy it. They say find the coordinates of point A and B. Point A and B. Ladies and gentlemen, I know for sure that along this axis, one thing I know is that the value of x I don't know, but the value of y is 0. So here it is just x2, 0. I don't know what is the value for x, I don't know, but the value for y yet is 0. So whatever function you are given, so in this case we are given this function, ladies and gentlemen, we are given this function. Make sure that you equate it to 0. Where there is this y, you put a 0. And we are going to have a situation like this. We are going to have a situation like this. And of course, we are going to have a situation like this. So of course, this is what we call implicity. This is what we call implicit equation. So for explicit, I'll put the 0 that side. So that becomes explicit. Becomes simple, people would understand it, so that it can be like this. Now that it is explicit, here it was implicit, so explicit, it becomes like that. You equate each one, whatever is in brackets, should equate it. You should equate it. Whatever is in brackets, I should equate it to 0. So this one equals to 0, or the other one, x minus 5 equals to 0. You agree with me that the 2 goes there, becomes a negative. The best is, there's no need of you doing that. You just have to take, have you seen this negative x, when it goes there becomes a positive. When that goes there becomes also a what? A positive. It is just a common sense. You agree with me that solution to this one, the first values for x, you cannot put here 5, of course it is just 2, 0. And for b, I told you that the value for y is 0. For b it is 5, 0. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the coordinates for a and b. I hope you are enjoying. What did I do? I said once you are given such a question, do not expand, don't expand, but instead you equate this to 0. I equate everything to 0, and then I separate them. This alone to 0, this alone to 0, as long as they're in brackets. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed here. It's not always whereby this one, in fact, they have simplified for you, but sometimes they'll bring it in a quadratic equation or quadratic form, or I'll show you later on when it is in form of a quadratic equation or quadratic, function. In this case, this is also a quadratic, but it's not expanded. They have already factorized for you. So all you need to do is to take whatever is in brackets, equate them to zeros, and then you slot them where they're supposed to be. Of course, you can't start with a 5, end with a 2. No, we always start with a smaller number because the numbers are increasing in this direction. Thank you so much. God bless you. Remember to subscribe. Why? How do we find the maximum? Ladies and gentlemen, maximum, there are many ways of doing it. I love my method. Maximum value of y, of the function or the graph. Sometimes they'll say maximum value of the graph of y. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many ways of killing a rat. Here they are talking about maximum. So maximum they are talking about here. Here they are talking about this point. How do I get this y, which I don't know? How do I get this value for y? So sometimes this maximum, mind you, if they ask you such that, when you look at the turning point, it is always x, y. This y, it is the maximum or minimum, while the x is the equation for the symmetry. They will ask you to say, write the equation of the symmetry of the graph. So in this case, I'm looking for maximum, which is my y there. How do I get it? I say, okay, simple. There are many ways. Remember here, they allow me to put the numbers which were there. Here I put the numbers which are there. What is here? It is a 5. You add them. This is the first method. I'm looking for the value of x. You add 2 plus 5. Remember, where have you gotten 2 plus 5? It is this 2 plus this 5. Then the midpoint, you agree with me that you are going to get 7 over 2. This is 7 over 2. Be careful. You can even, if you don't mind, you can even divide it. You are going to get 3.5. I like 0.5 because it is very easy for me to work out with the points. So from there now, I put it in the value of the equation. What is the function? The original function states that negative x plus 2 equals to, ladies and gentlemen, x minus 5. You agree with me that here what are you going to get? You get negative 3.5. You just have to substitute. Plus 2. You agree with me? And here it is the same as just to say 3.5 minus 5. Always think about money. Me, I love money. So you'll never make a mistake with money. I'll get negative 1.5. Once you work out this should multiply by another. When you do it nice, you get negative 1.5. Because from 5 kwacha, you know it is that. Now negative or negative is positive. I know that in short, ignore the points. First of all, 15 times 15, I'll get 225. How many decimal places? There are 2, 1, and 2, so you get 2, so the answer will be this one. This is the maximum value of y. So you can see that you have found that one. Or the other one would say, sir, it is 2. This is just a quarter, 1 over 4. This is the, so meaning that here it was at somewhere there at 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter. This was the value of y. So we have found the maximum. I hope you have enjoyed. I said, how do we get the maximum? The maximum is just follow the value for y, and then after work out like that. Thank you so much. God bless you. I said, please, when you are given, the first thing you equate them to 0 for me to find the coordinates, and this is how we find another one. This is the first method. First method is just to add these 2 and you will divide by 2 to get the midpoint, and so forth. If this is very difficult for you, if you have forgotten, how do we get the value of this x? Another method, how do we get? Thank you. Another method, I'll call it method 2. How do we get the value of x? Remember we got 3.5. Some people will be wondering. You have just to expand. You say, okay, this one is the same as I'm just expanding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just expanding. This is how we expand. You agree with me that this is the same as negative x squared positive 5x plus 2x negative 10. You agree with me that this is as good as just saying, you work out this will be a 7, so it is the same as just saying negative x squared plus 7x negative 10. So there is a formula on how to find the value of x. First of all, you have to identify your A and your B, not C. Of course, my C doesn't matter. What is my A? Negative 1. What is my B? 7. My C is negative 10. So you agree with me that how do we get x? X is equal to negative B over 2A. So that is how we find the value of, this is how we find the value of x. This is another method to find the value of x, because some people are saying you just add these two numbers divided by 2. Now look, how do you get it? You say, okay, negative, what is my B? Is 7, which is a negative. It is positive there, over 2 multiplied by negative 1. You show me that it will be just a positive. Of course, negative 7 over negative 2. Negative or negative is positive. You agree with me that 7 over 2 is the same as 3.5. Thank you so much. I hope you are enjoying. So this is the 3.5 which we got. So instead of wasting our time, that's why I showed you, just to show you. Mind you, here you have to start expanding. But my method, you just have to add these two numbers, divide by 2 to get the value of x. Now once you get this one, you have to insert it in the original equation. My original equation is this one. Don't worry, don't forget, and you agree with me that we are going back to the same 3.5 plus 2, and you get for me 3.5 minus 5. Here you get a negative 9.5 multiplied by another negative 1.5. Of course, you get 2.25. This is the value of y, which is the maximum in this case. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many methods. Method 3, we use calculus. I know that at maximum, the gradient is equal to 0. So maximum or minimum value, maximum, the gradient, meaning m, is equal to 0. So now I will say what is dy? Dx of this, which I have expanded, is negative 2x plus 7. Mind you, dy dx over a constant number is 0. So meaning that is the thing. Now I should equate this equation, I should equate it to 0, which is equal, because since the gradient is equal to 0, mind you, this is the gradient equation. So 2 goes there, I'm going to have 7, which remains here. 2 becomes a positive, I'll divide by 2, and of course we are going to get 3.5. So you can see that I've gotten 3.25 using dy dx. So you can even use dy dx in paper 1 for me to find the gradient. So meaning the value of x is that one. So from there, I substitute it in the original equation. The way we are doing it, so by so doing, I was just showing you 3 methods in which I can find the value of x. Thank you so much. I love you. God bless you. To remember to subscribe. Thank you.